This stream contains fast-flashing images that may affect viewers who are susceptible to photosensitive epilepsy and other photosensitivities. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, 4 teams will take the stage and try to forge a path to Champions' soul, but only 2 are going to make it out alive. Hello and welcome to day 1 of the VCT Americas Stage 2 playoffs, live from the Riot Games Arena here in Los Angeles, California. I'm Uber, and because time is a flat circle and also we're trying to tap into the 2018 esports nostalgia, I'm with John Brent. You guys have aged fantastically, by the way. 6 years.
That's a crazy statement. I'll just throw that out straight away. I mean, I've just got off the toiling from the farms.
Okay, yeah.
With the current trim. This man's lost all his hair. I'm close to it.
Yeah, I lost all of my hair as soon as I came to VALORANT.
Yeah.
VALORANT just,
what does that say?
Too much VOD watching. That's what it was.
I just think the lack of vitamin D. They all just started to fall out. Maybe also eating out of the bag of oats wasn't ideal, but you're doing that back in the Overwatch here anyway. Anyway, before we get into playoff talk, let's take a walk down memory lane because we've had some incredible moments this stage. Let's have a look at the top 5 plays of stage number 2. And we've always got to set the scene with this particular beauty. Can anybody top the Jorgamo ace from stage 1? Brent, Josh, big fan of this one, I know.
Yeah, I mean, this moment was just incredible, top to bottom. I think you'd be hard-pressed to match any of this as well. There's only a limited amount of games left into the playoffs.
And you started speaking in tongues, brother, with this.
Something overcame me. I'm telling you, I got possessed. Yeah. Something inside of me. I couldn't hold it back anymore, man. That was an unreal play by Jorgamo, but yeah, we'll see. That's a high bar to clear. That might be one of the best aces that we've seen in VALORANT history, up there with like Scary getting his little 1v5.
That one was nuts as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run a few by you guys, see if I can tempt you maybe off the particular pedestal. Coming at number 5, here's an ace from Zelsus against NRG. Kind of out of nowhere. 100 Thieves game.
Yeah, this is nice. This is crispy from what I remember. I mean, look at it. Snap to the side, little adjustment. He's looking nice with it, yeah. It's a shame that EG, didn't end up getting another little miracle run with like a chosen knife. Little invite into playoffs, maybe see another run of things. But, EG, they had some big moments.
They did have some big moments. I mean, we just saw Jorgamo in the previous stage getting some big ones too. They just couldn't put it together at the same time.
Yeah, disappointing to see the season end in that particular fashion. But our number 3 is someone who's still very much in the competition. It's TenZ doing TenZ things here on Lotus.
Now, this one I love. Season 8 off the beginning. They got the Haunt to follow up. TenZ pushes himself into a position and he just dominates this space.
He just knows.
I dare you peek him.
The little pre-fires as well, like tapping, he just knows they're going to try and re-swing, try and trade him out. Can't do it, man. That's his spot. Rubble's just his spot.
Yeah, dripping in intuition, I think, from that position. Yeah. He's always ready to take the fight. Let's have a look at another Jorgamo clip. That's right. Comes in at number 2, styling on less here. Blink and you miss it.
Dude, this was just insane. I'm not going to lie. Watching Jorgamo, I mean, we're just glazing him, aren't we, in this? We're just absolutely going off with that. But, yeah, the movement is
what is that?
So
the relay
nice.
Bolts end up on either side of the fast lane.
Yeah, he stuns, it bounces off him. One ends up over there, but one catches on the player, slides through. No chance you're dealing with that. That's one of the best plays you'll ever see where a player only gets 1 kill.
Well, what about one of the best plays you'll ever see when a player gets 3 kills? Let's have a look at our number 1 play from stage 2. This one is just a wild Som
Oh,
versus
my.
Cloud9.
No.
Starts in detention, by the way.
I refuse to believe that this clip is real.
What are you doing? I couldn't believe we were watching this live. Does this redeem the Cove moment?
Yes, this is
you
the
think this redeems it? This is the anti-Cove? I mean, it definitely is. I can't believe they didn't trade him out. What were they doing with their guns?
I've got to see Zeppa's POV in that.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. What? Did he run
Can we scroll it back? Can we run it back? Do we have the archive footage?
How does it happen?
I think it's apocryphal at this point. It's under lock and key. You know what I mean? If you had to get through the Rothschilds to get your hands on that one, that's some deep state material. Let's have a look at the Stage 2 playoffs bracket now, of course, featuring our top 6 teams from this stage of VCT Americas. Here it is. We've got our 6 teams here. Leviathan and G2 obviously sit in that next match waiting for their opponents, but today's opening matchups are single elimination, so it's do or die, technically. We'll get into that in a moment, for all of these 4 teams. First up, it's Crew Visa taking on Cloud9, and then it's an NA Classic, Sentinels versus 100 Thieves. Two banger games here on deck, and again, there's a lot on the line, especially in that first match.
Yeah, the clout bout coming up second, though, is what everyone's going to be tuning into. It's a weird one, too, because both teams, if they lose it, could still go through on champs points.
Yeah.
So Crew C9 are the
little...
teams that have to make them.
They have to go all the way.
Right,
and that's why, I mean, for me, honestly, that might be one of the more exciting matches to watch. I think the second one is also going to be really good, don't get me wrong, but the fact that both Crew and C9 have to go pretty much all the way, they have to make top 3, they can't lean on champs points, you know, they absolutely butchered it throughout the year in terms of just like the second half of their year in stage 2.
Yep.
So they don't have those points to lean on, they have to run it all the way back.
Obviously, both choking in stage 1 playoffs probably didn't help them either, but we'll get onto that. The stakes, though, couldn't be a lot higher than this, and like any good drama, there's a twist. Split is out of the map pool and Abyss is now in play. That's right, Abyss, folks. Here's what the pros had to say about Valorant's new playground.
I don't really know. It doesn't look like a Valorant map. That's about all I got.
Acho que o mapa Abyss é mapa bem diferente dos outros. É bem maluco o mapa, mas eu gostei bastante.
I think it's a nice map. I think it's going to be like a lurker's paradise.
The mid is so long, so defensively, flanks take a long time to develop, and trying to clear a lurker, which is a protocol just in FPS games, is pretty difficult because there's so much space to work with.
I think the middle is very interesting. 2 elevation area, which is just like long, narrow hallways.
I think it's going to be a map where if you don't win that initial first phase, that initial exec or that first initial skirmish with everyone blowing all their util, then you're just going to lose the round.
I'd say the one thing that I think is going to be really common on this map is I think like Neon and Yoru are going to be played because of how big the map is. You kind of need to be able to get to both bomb sites.
Yo creo que lo primero que se viene a la mente es el tema de poder morirse por caída.
You can just fall to your death anywhere on the map. Breach ult, going to be very nice, pushing people off map. That's my dark theory.
Va a haber personajes que van a estar más fuertes, como por ejemplo el Gecko, que puede ir corriendo, puede saltar las cosas e ir a plantar ou defusar.
Acredito que isso também é bom potencial para a Astra voltar com o puxão dela, com o stun dela, como é um mapa grande, tem muita skill global, então acho que vários agentes se beneficiam dessa queda dos mapas. Eu já vi algumas jogadas, por exemplo, você dá um double set de raise por fora do mapa e parar dentro do bomb, ou às vezes você, de ouro, por exemplo, deixar um TP, você cair e ativar o TP e voltar pro mapa antes de você morrer, né? Eu acho que esse tipo de jogada vai acontecer bastante no competitivo.
Like any creative team really benefits from like a new map coming out or a new agent, because they'll sit in a custom for, I swear, days straight and just find all the cool stuff.
I think it's a really cool map. I like playing it in ranked, and I'm excited to implement it in my team.
And now, joining us to talk more about Abyss is Valorant game designer Diego Verona. Bro, thank you so much for coming onto the desk and hanging out with us.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
I mean, we're all super excited about Abyss. We've had the players' takes on it now. I know a lot of people are getting a chance to try it for themselves out there in-game, getting a feel for it. It's obviously only just been added to the competitive map pool now, right? What do you feel like, you know, really sets Abyss apart from the rest of the maps in the game already?
Yeah, so I think you'll find a lot of similarities with Abyss compared to some of the things in the map pool. I mean, obviously the death drops are kind of the big focal point here. But I think some things that set Abyss apart from a lot of our other maps, it's like, you know, it's kind of the longer sight lines that Breeze has, but being able to dome smoke a lot more, I think. Like mid, you can dome smoke like top mid, like on left or right, you can smoke B-Link. And so I think players should feel a little bit similar, but you know, I think that with the death pits and as well as like the verticality as well, like on all the sites, like you can see here on B site, there's a lot of verticality, different types of head mix-up angles, and yeah, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how people take it.
How long was Abyss in development for? It's quite complex.
It is quite complex. I can't give too many details on that, but I will say maps do take a long time. You know, the usual pipeline works from like designers like me and the designer who designed this map, Joey Seamus. We go through the blockout phase, where we test and iterate for months on end, making sure that things are just feeling really good so that players, when they get their hands on them, the gameplay feels really tight. Yeah. And then art comes in, you know, makes the place look insanely pretty. Like, they always go out of the park with it. And yeah, so it takes a long time. That's all I'll say.
Okay. I do have to ask as well, because I want to use the term like gimmick, quote unquote, because a lot of maps, they have these little introductions and additions that get added with the ropes when they got added on, I think it was Icebox or maybe Split when it first got added, right? On this one, it's you can fall off the map. And that's quite humorous for me. I love watching it in pro player. I love watching little mess ups from some of the players. But was the team kind of nervous to introduce that element as like part of the shtick of this map here?
I think we were a little bit nervous. I think we were concerned about like where should players be able to fall off on. I think B-side at some point had something similar to A, where you could fall off in the middle of the site. I could be remembering that wrong, but yeah, I think we were kind of trying to push the needle a lot and having different ways players could like interact with the falling off. I think, you know, the map had a lot of verticality in the past, and so we were experimenting with things called like crash pads and jump pads that allow you to maneuver the map in like really different ways. But I think, you know, we've seen that players have kind of taken the map thing with stride. Like, you know, it's like, oh, I fell off the map. Whoops. Sorry. Yeah.
One of the first times we saw it played, maybe even the first time in professional play, Team Secret picked it against Talon in Pacific. 3 of the Team Secret players fell off the map, and they won 2 out of 3 of the rounds where that happened. It takes Jet such a long time to fall down there as well. We saw it played earlier on today, actually, in EMEA too. It's not just the falling off the map, though. There's cool plays that people are coming out with, like here, where DRX are flash and dashing down mid and then going for the retake. What are some of your big takeaways about the pros getting their hands on it? Because that must be very different.
Yeah, I think they're doing a lot of things like what we would expect to happen. Like, I think there was one play in this game where there was a Jet, you know, that went around A main and like updrafted and dashed with knives onto site and kind of took control of back site. And I was like, okay, there you go. Like that's what we were kind of looking for, and like seeing how pro teams will kind of push the envelope in that way. Because it was a pretty neat pinch that, you know, Jet was able to updraft, go back site, and as their team was coming into main, they pinch the KO and they get the kill.
So obviously when you like release a map into the wild, you've got, you know, a team of people that are working on this map in dev and playtesting, of course, but you never know what the world is going to come up with. What is the most surprising thing you've seen on this map since you've released it into the wild?
How fast the clips came in. The 360 no-scopes and the slides off the map really were kind of amusing to watch. And I think from a gameplay standpoint, how quickly people kind of caught on to like using the map mechanic itself. Like, you know, I saw clips of Razes like jumping across the from back security all the way to site. We didn't even think that was possible. And so I love seeing how players kind of make the map their own and like really push the creative sandbox.
I've got some Sage Walls to show you.
Oh,
I've been cooking.
Yeah. We got the setups over there. We can sit down and have a look at it. Hey, Diego, thanks for your time. Obviously, we're super excited to see the map, hopefully today, of course, and in general across VCT competition worldwide. And we're kicking off playoffs, of course, with an NA versus LATAM showdown. So, of course, we had Elizabeth catch up with Crew Visa's MTA for a quick chat. Let's have a look.
At MTA, how did it feel getting that first win going?
Muy bien, por fin tener la primera victoria. Obviamente yo siento como un boost de confianza después de la primera victoria y muy contento.
Definitely really good. I obviously feel like a boost of confidence after they win, and I'm very happy.
So going off of that, how has the team atmosphere changed now that, you know, your 6-game losing streak is now over?
Obviamente se siente como un alivio, por así decirlo, de todo el equipo. Y bueno, obviamente hay mejor atmósfera, estamos más positivos y todo, y estamos más confiados todos.
It obviously feels like a relief, like a release of the energy, and now we're all coming in more confident and happier and better.
Something about the match specifically I want to ask you is, has the team prepared for that Oxy-Kesnet matchup specifically?
Y no creo yo, la verdad, pero la verdad sí una pelea de dos jugadores muy buenos, dos titanes, por así decirlo, y va a estar muy bueno el duelo.
I don't think so, really, but it's going to be a really good matchup between two very insane duelists, so it's going to be a good one.
I'm looking forward to it. Best of luck.
All right, you two knuckleheads, let's get into today's first match and talk about Cloud9 and Crew. Two teams kind of on the same trajectory, and that's not exactly said in a flattering manner. Both went 5-1 in stage 1. See, I beat Leviathan early on in that stage, but they both missed out on Masters, and then they slumped hard in stage 2.
It's been a weird one. Both of these teams, they got off to really hot starts, but it was Crew I had more confidence in and more surprised, actually, that they fell off towards the end. They did manage to recover with a big win over C9 towards the end of the season, though. So it feels like certainly mirroring each other, but also intertwined fates too. It's a bizarre one, both of these teams throughout the season.
Yeah, they're kind of attached to the hip in terms of like them even defining who got into playoffs. With their earlier matches they were playing against each other. I mean, they played against 5 days ago. I think. The two teams.
It was a little bit one-sided as well. That Icebox match was very sussy from C9.
Yeah, sussy's one word for it. I mean, listen, we'll start throwing it back if you're not careful with that. I mean, listen. But it's important to note as well, we kind of touched on it, but both of these teams need to win out. They don't have the champ points because of that.
They've not been doing any international play this year.
Exactly.
No extracurriculars for either of these teams.
All the way.
Yeah, both teams, despite looking good in stage one, as you said, didn't actually perform during the playoffs either, so they didn't get those points. They've got to get 2 wins during these playoffs, so which means if you win now, you either have to win against Lev or the loser of that other match, who we don't know who that would be.
So C9's comeback win over NRG, of course, is what kind of clinched this playoff spot and Crew's spot at the same time. They locked up both of them. On top of that, these two teams, like Brent just said, have only played each other like 5 days ago here. And we felt like Crew were definitely pretty favoured here, right? Like, again, like a 13-7, I think, on Icebox kind of had this one wrapped up for us.
Yeah, I think one of the big differences in this game was how much... everyone's going to talk about Oxy Kesnet. We're going to talk about Oxy Kesnet. But it was the rest of the pack and how much better all the other players on Crew looked in this game compared to their opposites on Cloud9. So it's the rest of the field that needs to step up for Charlie Niner.
Yeah, they were locked in, that Crew team. They definitely wanted to win it and get over that hurdle themselves. And Cloud9, I've got a lot of just concerns about, I think, throughout this entire season watching them, because they burn so bright when Oxy dominates the competition in particular maps, but they have these massive holes in their overall game plans, which, I mean, I'm sure we'll touch on as well deeper when we're talking about Cloud9.
Yeah, we'll dive into that a bit more. Let's talk about Crew here for just a moment, because they were on a 6-game losing streak until they took down Cloud9. Now, if you look at their history, one has to ask, I mean, I hate to say this, but is it another run on the horizon? We want a positive run, right? That's what we would like here. But you can see down towards the end, multiple loss streaks punctuated by reasonable win streaks. We're on 1 win right now.
Yeah, I mean, you see the win streak at LCQ. That one caught me off guard, absolutely. Didn't believe in it, but it certainly happened. Could they go on another run? They don't need that much of a run. LCQ was 5 wins. That was mad. They only need 2. They just need to win against C9 and their LATAM rivals, Leviathan. I think it's a lot to ask, though, for either of these two teams.
Yeah, but if there was a team to come alive, I think it would be Crew. Like, kind of what paved the way with their LCQ run. It wasn't any fancy strategies that they really cooked up. I think they were just fundamentally very, very strong as a team in terms of playing off each other. The defaults and the attack side calling was pretty good, actually, back then. I mean, of course, now they've changed their attack side calling. Heading into playoffs a bit risky.
Yes.
But who knows? It could work out. I would definitely pin them as the favourites in this match here today against Cloud9.
Well, I think as we talk about Crew, probably need to talk about their most important member, I think it's safe to say. Lionel Messi, of course. You can see here, I mean, look, the head-to-head between him and Kesnet, it's pretty favourable, I think, for Lionel here. 838 goals scored. Love to see that. 57 hat-tricks and 8 Ballon d'Ors, by the way.
Yeah, it's kind of insurmountable at this point. I don't think Kesnet should really be considered the GOAT or in the conversation for GOAT.
No, it's tough to argue.
It's really tough to argue when he's up against someone like Messi as the example as well.
Having said that, Kesnet probably not going to get subbed out with an injury at any point during this game. So that's in his favour.
I mean, I can't believe he said that, man. He was crying on broadcast.
You're
lucky that nobody in America knows who Messi is.
Exactly.
You're lucky that you can go to the supermarket without any paparazzi following him around.
Got away with it.
Yeah, I think, again, like the last time what we showed unfavourable stats of someone on a broadcast, they came back and tried to come out of retirement and play again.
Exactly,
That's crazy. So let's hope we can just keep Kesnet in the mix here. We are going to make a more favourable comparison for our boy Kesnet here, potentially, as he goes up against Oxy once again. And last time around, it was definitely a Kesnet W between these two.
God, this was muddy. This was some muddy VALORANT, man. I'm telling you, listen, global warming was kicking in on Icebox. The ground was thawing. It was definitely
like
messy.
The corners
at times,
on Katowice during winter, right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all that muddy snow.
But one of the things you notice when you're watching, we're just watching Oxy pop off, but Kesnet was so determined to take aim duels against everybody. Not just against Oxy, where he was tending to win them as well, but anybody else on Cloud9, Kesnet was going, hunting them down, forcing the fights, and ended up with some fantastic stats. Oxy's keeping up in terms of impact, but it was Kesnet that had the tempo of the game. He had that bit between his teeth, pulling everybody else along.
Yeah, it definitely felt like he was the one that was leading the sled, especially on that defense side. When we talk about his calling, kind of takes a centerpiece role in that team. We can see him doing that there as well. But Cloud9, find themselves at the risk of missing yet another global event. I mean, here's their placements, of course, through these big tournaments, going back to, 2023, the league 4th, right just outside, LCQ 3rd, Kickoff, obviously, we didn't see tons from them, and then stage 1, they just dropped the ball.
This team has a large history, I think, of just choking when the pressure really starts mounting for them. They missed out on Tokyo the previous year, kind
that
of
was
some
a big
similar...
surprise.
Big surprise. They were looking like one of the stronger teams. They missed out, quite narrowly. I think they have a bit of a problem when it comes to that mentality. How does it get solved? Don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Like, generally rewriting the brain chemistry is what I would recommend, but it's not exactly something you can really push for.
One of the weird parts as well, though, is it's different members of Cloud9. If you think back to last year, which is weird again in terms of their comparison with Crew, because they were favourites for that LCQ where Crew ended up going on the run. They were, I think it was 8-1 in the regular season, Cloud9 were, and yet they still managed to lose it. Vanity wasn't on that team. If you think about Vanity and Cloud9, normally you think about them being enmeshed. He wasn't the caller there. It was people like Zelsis, who we now associate with not choking, with stepping up in big games. So it's such a tangled web, unfortunately. But the comparison is apt because on the other side, Crew, when the pressure is on them, they tend to
always
step
qualified,
up.
right?
They've been very good at qualifying to big events. Now, partially, that's because they were the big fish in a small pond back when LATAM got a kind of guaranteed spot through. But I mean, you think back to last year's LCQ, and that was a step up. Overtaking Cloud9, overtaking Leviathan, and being able to win it was a massive shock.
And obviously last year, I mean, these two teams ended up facing off in that LCQ, right? And that's, under the favourites. We had the run, they got first place there. Then they ran into Champions, Crew at Champions 2023. What's the pervasive vibe about that campaign?
I mean, a lot harder competition, I think, as well. So they just kind of ended up stumbling even just early on, right?
Yeah,
it was just 2 losses back-to-back.
They flopped, but it's champs, isn't it?
Exactly,
Just making
it's
it there is a success.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think this team has a lot to look forward to. In terms of this match here, again, they're kind of lucky that the competition they're playing against with Cloud9 is that they're just missing this vibe merchant from the team. I can't help but think that and imagine that when we were just talking about Zelsis, and every time Imi is going on to an interview, he's doing a disappointed dad act.
So angry. Yeah, he's very, very mad. I mean, again, the Map 1 loss last week I thought was one of the most distinctive moments for Cloud9 in terms of encapsulating their energy. Let's listen to what Coach Imi had to say following that map last week.
I am here with Imi from Cloud9. Icebox melts through their hands, but they have a chance on the next map. I gotta ask you, we saw head and hands there for a little bit towards the end of Icebox. Just how are you feeling, Imi?
I mean, I just feel like I'm doing the same day on repeat every week. I'm just gonna come here, I'm gonna say the same thing about solo fight. It literally looks like we go back and we don't practice, and it's just not acceptable, and I'm not happy about it.
Are the timeouts the same thing every time? Fight together, do this, do that, and it just kind of falls away?
I mean, pretty much, but even today, we didn't even listen to one of my timeouts, which was just crazy. We're just not zoned in, and I don't know what it is about first map, but I seem like I've been here every game this split.
All right, hopefully the team can lock it in for the second map, Imi. Good luck.
To be fair, been a long campaign for quite a few of these teams here in Americas, but Imi's sort of saying, it's tough coming back and feeling like it's Groundhog Day for you every time you get to the arena.
Well, he's also tried a lot, hasn't he? And it just hasn't worked. It's not like he's been sat there, oh yeah, I know that we lose in map 1. Well, maybe it'll just improve without us trying anything. He's obviously trying stuff behind the scenes.
There's clearly that frustration. I mean, what worked for me when I had this problem when I was a Cloud9 player, I mean, it was an ADHD diagnosis.
Okay.
That ended up solving a lot of it for me. Don't know if they've tried that as well. I'm not a medical professional, but that might help if they're having difficulty listening.
Yeah.
I think that they've got these massive gaping issues in terms of just missing the vibes merchant, missing somebody to pick them up in the middle of matches, and missing somebody to really just focus them.
This is the last chance to actually get somebody to step up into that role.
Yeah, and good luck with that. I mean, this is it, literally. It's single limb into the playoffs. They're up against Crew right now. They can't make any changes. It has to happen here and now, and it hasn't been happening over the course of the entirety of Stage 2. So I don't mean to be full doomer for the Cloud9 arc here that we're talking about this team. Genuinely, some of the only positives that you can draw from them is that Oxy sometimes drops a 30 bomb. Genuinely, they are missing so many key pieces to be a team that goes deep in a playoffs run right now.
They're streaky, though, and sometimes streaky is a good thing. Vanity's calling, when he's in the rhythm, can be streaky, in a good way, like streaky bacon. And then when you see him losing a lot, then it's like streaky underwear.
Teeps. Okay, streaky underwear. Yeah, there you go. All right, so let's see how Imi's been feeling now after a week of a few days of ostensibly rest and recreation. God help us. Let's see what Elizabeth has for us over there.
Now, Emmy, you said in a post-map interview, I believe with Rivington, that the team wasn't listening, the team wasn't communicating. Was that the issue then?
There was bits of it, but as for the timeout, it was just, I think I just gave a little bit too much information, and maybe we weren't zoned in enough. The game at the end of the day didn't really matter. The only thing that matters is playoffs. Split 1 doesn't matter, Split 2 doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this today, and we're going to have a fresh start and we're going to win.
How have you addressed that issue? Like, have you addressed your own timeouts? Have you addressed how they communicate and how they receive that information?
I mean, it was just one timeout where I was a little bit annoyed at them not listening. That's it. For the most part, they listen every single time, so it's not really an issue. We just watched the game back and spoke about it.
Yes. Now, what have you done specifically to prepare for your game against Crew to make sure they don't win for the second time in 5 days and end your season?
I don't want to say too much, but we just kind of just going in with a fresh start, fresh mindset. That's the main thing, and just making sure we're playing with confidence.
Fresh start and confidence. Best of luck.
Someone got a slap on the wrist. I'm almost certain of it. Uncle Jack came down and said, hey, listen up, young blood. You gave a bit too much away in that.
Either that or Vanity wears the pants. It's like, don't be talking about me like that.
You get the family involved, then you got problems. All right, so what can this team do then to turn things around? We have 5 days, like was mentioned. Emmy's talking about fresh mindset, fresh start. Let's get to the brass tacks here about what they can actually do differently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 5 days is enough to shore up some of the attack side calling on some maps. Vanity, he's got a good head on his shoulders for some maps, and like you said, when he gets into the rhythm of calling in certain spots, they do look quite good, but unfortunately this is going to be potentially a map pool dilemma. They do have the benefit of what we were just talking about, where the map pool's been shaken up, which a lot of teams are going to be under the current same stress of having to build back up the map pool.
Is this an Abyss team?
Potentially. I mean, you can literally use it for this scenario, right? It's coming for playoffs. It's a bit of a wild card. If you have a better read than your opponent and it slips through, that is a chance genuinely for this team when one of the prevailing issues that they've had has been a weaker map pool, in my mind.
It has, yeah. I mean, if you can get Vanity calling on attack sides like Icebox Sunset, he's got to be looking a lot better. They didn't get to that situation in the previous game against Crew. I think the biggest thing, though, outside of anything that's in-game, is having somebody inside the team stepping up when the energy needs lifting. Right, yeah. Because with Oxy, he pops off when he's doing well. You need somebody bringing everybody up all the time, or even when everyone's doing badly. There has to be a figure there that raises the energy. Vanity's brain might not have the bandwidth for it, because he's thinking about IGL.
He's also a bit ironic in his nature as well.
He's not quite the let's go kind of guy. So I'm looking towards Rooney or Zeppa, to be honest. Moose is a little quiet. One of those guys that was there last year that knows how it feels to lose in situations like this has got to turn the ship around for my money.
So it starts with a spark. Someone needs to be there to create it. Now, our top 6 is full of talented teams, and you could honestly make a case for any one of them to win it all. And yeah, that's what we're going to do right here, actually, right now. We're going to play Wheel of Playoffs, folks. That's right. The rules are dead simple. We got the wheel, we're going to spin it, and then you have to make a case for the team that it lands on. If these guys get the same team, guess what? They're going to make a case for that same team. Brendan, you're up first. Give it a whirl, buddy.
Easy.
God, that is a jarring sound.
Yeah, I'm sure it's quite loud.
Leviathan. That's an easy one.
That's an easy one. I mean, a slam dunk. They've been holding their map pool. Their Haven looks quite good when it's come back in as well. I think they're one of the best teams currently at that. They haven't dropped a map, I believe, in Stage 2 so far. They've been dominating all of their series in like a 2-0 fashion. They're looking large and in charge. They've fixed and corrected all the issues from Shanghai. Whatever was plaguing them is in the past at this point. They're looking like potentially our most dominant team heading into the playoffs.
That was pretty
Shall I give it a spin?
I hope you get something.
Don't think I'm going to get as lucky as going for Leviathan.
Give me some Charlie Niner.
We've already talked Cloud9 to death. I've given you all of that I can on that team.
100 Thieves!
100 Thieves. Now, here's the Copa of Americas, the Copa Americas. 100 Thieves, you don't even need to win. You're good, guys. Go into that game against Sentinels, give it all you got, but even if you lose, just bank on the fact that Cloud9 or Crew are going to fumble.
Championship points,
the champs points are going crazy here. 100 Thieves fans, I do not want to see you moaning and words I can't say on the internet if that game ends up not going your way. You just got to pray, you got to knuckle down thoughts and prayers that Cloud9 and Crew bomb out.
I don't know how much more time we've got. Can I give it another spin? We've only got 40 seconds.
Just spin it anyway.
We're doing it anyway. All right.
G2. I kind of just grabbed it. G2, great team, disciplined, diligent, 5 a.m. cold showers, gym routines looking good.
Sigma,
they got a chef.
mindset.
They got a psychiatrist. I'm just making stuff up out of this. I don't know if they got any of this.
They hired Marie Kondo to
They've got it all,
man.
man. They've got it all. They're looking excellent, looking sublime. Valen's one of the best fragging IGLs. The whole team's coming together.
All right, we're going to cut you off there. We've got back-to-back elimination matches, and Champion Soul is on the line. It's going to be Crew Visa versus Cloud9 and Sentinels versus 100 Thieves. We're going to be spinning the wheel here for a couple more times and get our brains working about who we expect to make it. It starts right now. VCT Americas Stage 2 playoffs.
I mean, what's not at stake, right? The whole year falls in this moment. You're either going to go home early or you're going to be able to go to Champions.
The thing that would excite me the most about playoffs this year, just the level of competition. I definitely think this is the best of the best of the Americas region.
Every one of the teams has a chance of winning. Any team can win at this point.
Hay equipos que pueden mostrar otra cara, como nosotros. Nos hicimos una buena temporada esta season y creo que si es que se nos dio es por algo, entonces creo que debemos mostrar una muy buena cara y redimirnos de nuestros resultados.
Buena paranoia de parte de Lenzer, que está siguiendo la cabeza de Lee. ¡Adelante! Captain of the game, I'm calling these brains. I'm crossing on the rolling truck. All days, the wife and the floss are over. Defend the family full of gangsters to grab the toasters. Might be quick to honor life for the god and hang up the posters.
I mean, what history says is that Cloud9 is going to choke and probably Crew as well. So that's the history. You know, hopefully history repeats itself and that will lead to me qualifying.
The expectations from the fan and set by FNS and Sam, they always say, hey, we're always like regular season warriors, they call us. But hey, we're gonna see in playoffs again. We got our second shot. Our confidence is back. Everything's back. I'm shooting back to normal. Hey.
Maneuver on both sides, and that's actually opening up.
It would be a similar feeling that I had last year when I won Americas. I would feel really happy and really good about it. All the hard work that you put on the whole year, it worked in the end.
We riding and we sliding and we gonna win. Pull up, right on how much I'm gonna spend. Survive, pull up, what I'm gonna grin. It's 71. Solely right out your body lights becoming dim. Becoming treadmill Trevor, lifting up the gym. Training regimens, they starting to call me Slim. God of the mic, but I'm accepting them, calling me king. Indomitable!
The Kings of Americas League, I would have to say Sentinels. They've always been kind of the powerhouse of the league, and you know they've shown a dominant split too.
Probably would be Leviathan. Current form, Leviathan is probably the strongest opponent that we will have to face.
If I would say, I think the crown's still like up for grabs. The last team that won was 100 Thieves, maybe 100 Thieves.
Sentinels or us, or whichever one you want to pick. Having a target on your back is nice because you know you're above them in a way. There's only reason why you have a target on your back, and that's because they think you're a threat.
I've been on top of the world a few times now, and I will say it is quite difficult to consistently stay up there. Good teams can win trophies, but it's always the great teams that can keep up that consistency and keep on winning.
I was very close in split one, and I saw 100 Thieves lift it before my eyes, so that's definitely motivation going into this playoffs that I'm not going to let that happen again.
Going back to back would be insane. Last split playoffs, I felt like we hit great form and we were all like firing on all cylinders. We know what we need to do to get there, and we will do that.
Riot Games Arena, it is time for the Stage 2 playoff. Let's bring on our first team. Give it up for NA's very own Cloud9!
Gotta get to the final, take all of my idols and turn them to rivals. It's all or nothing, man, the trophy is vital. Game time, bet I'm coming in clutch, no hang time, man, they can't keep up. The game's on the line, seconds on the time. Who can't fight? It's gotta be us. Man, under pressure.
Champions y hoy inician su recorrido para hacerlo de nuevo. Es Crew Visa.
Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, work hard and play hard. Work hard and play. Stand up, let me see you move. Stand up and then play. Stand up, let me see you move. Stand up, let me see you move. Oh yeah.
Came out of the gates with a hot start in stage one, really lighting it on fire, and then fell apart just when it mattered, just when that qualification to international events was on the line in our stage one playoffs. They both now have one more chance to fight for the international spotlight, and they've got to go against each other to do it.
There's so much pressure between both of these teams when they don't have the backup policy of the championship points to lean on, and both of them, had this bit of a stumble, I guess, with the exception of, Crew being able to get over that with a recent win. Once you get that win after, kind of just been falling, slipping and sliding down in terms of just the overall rankings, it can be a big weight off your shoulders, and I think that they're going to be looking forwards here. Single limb, you kind of just have to take it into the playoffs, I think, one match at a time, not really worrying about it, but there is much more pressure, I would argue, on this match right here compared to the one that's later up in the day, at least.
Definitely true. And I think heading into map select, the difference between their success side on the attack makes it imperative that Cloud9 get a good map select going on here. And considering that Split's just been removed, I think that's a boon for Cloud9. Even if you take Abyss completely out of things, just the fact that they're not going to have it...
PNG?
Dude, that's got to be Abyss, hasn't it?
That has to be Abyss.
It's Abyss.
That has to be Abyss.
Abyss.png.
That has to be Abyss.
That's it, I'm not even ready for it. I mean, that's good, because I don't know anything about Papua New Guinea as a map, but that one...
That's where it says it. Papua New Guinea.
It's got to be Abyss, man. And yeah, you can see him jumping around it too. So we're going to see Abyss opening up. I mean, a point that I made earlier, which is, Cloud9, they have difficulties with their map pool. It's not as fleshed out. Guess what? Bit of a cheat code. Abyss comes in. You just need to be better at it than your opponents. They've had the exact same amount of prep time as you on that map. You can build up. As long as you have the better read on it on a given day, that could be your ticket to making it through this single elim game.
And that is a first pick. They didn't even float this one. This is a Cloud9 map pick as well. They've got to be bringing with confidence. Let's jump into Agent Select now and see what our teams are coming up with, because, again, who knows what to expect.
Okay, Killjoy is actually a pretty uncommon pick on this map, just for starters.
Normally Cypher, right?
Yeah, normally teams are going to run the Cypher. I think the cages are slightly better in terms of anchoring, and the cam is good for mid-information.
KO?
Yeah, KO, Sova, a lot of teams have been running. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw teams moving in that direction. But Cloud9, they may have been cooking. It's really the duelists and, the initiator picks that I think are going to define what these teams are up to.
Chaos over here confirmed for Crew Visa.
Pretty similar to what DRX were running. They ran a lot of fast plays on defense. We showed a clip of it earlier on, actually. But we have seen teams, just earlier on today, we saw Team Heretics running a Breach Raze, mega cringe B post play.
Yeah. It feels like the map is going to be leaning into that direction where teams are already just trying to, abuse the fact that the B site, essentially, you can just get onto it really quickly as the attack side and team.
Yeah. There's no neutral ground in between the barrier and the side, right?
You can just jump straight into it, and it's up to the defenders to essentially either try and flood defend or play retake. So you're going to see a lot of post plans being played most likely, but
this is honest Valorant.
This looks quite honest in terms of the comps.
This is Ascent comps, bro.
Yeah, you're not seeing any Gecko being played, with the mosh pit, trying to use the wingmans to try and get the plant deep tucked in and you'll play off site. This is, like you're saying, this is Ascent comps.
So I think the important thing to look at here as well is, do they have early round ideas? Because we've seen some of the teams in Pacific run comps like this, but not do much with them.
Right.
And then you contrast that to the way the DRX were playing. They cleared out the map and found out which site was going in the first 10 seconds.
Well, we're ready for map one, folks, of this elimination match, and we have Abyss on the docket already, so let's send it over to your casters. It's Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you so much, guys. I think the stakes are pretty simple. For as much as we can have conversations about point sys and point set, and you feel like you need a rocket degree to understand who's going to champs and who's not, Dre, for these two teams, it's either win or go home. There's no other way to talk about it.
Yeah, this is it. And for Crew, this is familiar territory. They've been here before, but for Cloud9, they're known as these chokers when it comes to playoff time and etc. I mean, look at last year, nightmares in their brain, but they have an opportunity here to put those nightmares to rest. And last time around, both these teams, I mean, it was like a blow for blow, just two bulls clashing like that. And, you know, the first engagements for Crew, they seek those out, and they came up on top most of the time against Cloud9 in the last series. So this is something that we're going to have to see Cloud9 change here on this new map of Abyss. The first time that we're seeing this in NA.
With so much on the line. Again, the possibility of champs. Dan mentioned it, the walkouts. The Crew has never missed the champs. And if they are going to continue that streak, if they are going to continue that run, it's going to have to start off on Abyss. They've already contacted their way out towards B. Kesnet will be the first to fall. We'll keep a close eye on how Cloud9 try to flood out. They're just playing on the other side of the smoke as the right clicks don't initially connect. But Cloud9 settling things down, getting the frags they're looking for as Crew does their best to keep it close and competitive, leaving Shy and Moose in a 1v1. A Ghost in the hands of the Cypher. The swing out is there and Moose delivers. Cloud9 get the pistol.
It got really scrappy there on the actual site hit, but it was C9 who decided to play the retake from the get-go and then just flood in very quickly there. I think this is something you're going to see a lot from the side of C9. I think this is the way that you have to kind of approach this B site. It's so hard to anchor it. The Deaths did a really good job of talking about how quick the attacking side can all funnel into B site. If you get caught out there and you don't get a pick like this, I mean, this whole retake, it just folds. So a job well done from the side of Cloud9. Good poise from Moose there to win that 1v1 at the end, and just like that, Cloud9, they will start off hot.
Placing swarm grenade. Placing swarm grenade.
We'll see how things look towards A. It seems like that's where Crew's headed for now. Not really investing very much. Kesnet with the Sheriff. Heat will join him. Other than that, lighter weaponry. See that knife getting a tag early on. All of the defensive Killjoy utility is set up towards A right now, Dre.
Yeah, and it's because of that heavy retake style they want to play towards that B site. So this is already the game plan, and then I imagine halfway through the half, you'll see the Killjoy move over. Moose will move over towards that B site to give a new look. Maybe some support behind him as well.
Oxy with a Marshall in hand as the smoke goes up. Oh, he's spotted a hand now.
Ooh, can't connect. Tries to get a wall bang.
But understanding a little bit more of where the threat's coming from. This looks very similar to what we saw them do on the pistol, the spam and the smoke, not connecting onto anything, but you see the dart over the top. And Shy's getting the first.
Yeah, what a great trade for the attacking side of Crew.
More
than enough. What is that, Doug?
Spike getting down as well. And keep a close eye on the minimap. Shy seems to be wanting to reflank around a bit. Moose is ahead of it. He's not being quiet either.
And this is the problem with running the Killjoy over the Cypher. Your utility, it's set up on one side of the map. You're not going to really get it back in time for this.
Keep an eye on this area of the map right there. That's the flood that you were talking about in the previous round. Moose will fall as well. Everything crumbling for Cloud9. Crew walk into this with pistols and earth and pot among the brass. And that's what nets them the kill. What a response.
Some ridiculous shots just hit from Heat. He's already warmed up, and what an answer back from Crew. You lose the pistol and you come back like that against an outlaw on that site. Look at these shots, the connections. Beautiful, oh my gosh. So patient with his timing on that. And then, yeah, the flank just to secure the round. That was insane. Something that happened in the beginning of that round that I want to point out was the knife for knife.
I'm going to cut you off here. Look at how aggressive Cloud9 are taking a main space already. Off of the dart, they send 4 here. They already have all that control. The question is, how does Crew respond on the other side of that?
Oh, they're pushing so far, so deep into T-spawn right now.
Shy is there. Melser has joined the fray. A little bit of reinforcements. A little bit more as far as firepower goes. And Cloud9 tried pulling a quick one. It just doesn't pay off, Dre.
Some decent damage done, though, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
Not the worst eco round I've seen. I like that they're trying to see what the setups are like. Now they have a good idea of, okay, if Cypher's solo at A, we know somebody's holding from mid as well, and the rest are probably towards that B site. Kesnet, he's the one that drifted over to clean up, help his squad out. But this is all really good information that if C9 identify, that could help out Oxy do further pushes into A, maybe take a 1v1 against Shy once they identify that the KO knives aren't tagging each other in that A main area.
Now, you were mentioning earlier something you saw at the beginning of the previous round.
Yeah. So the KO knives in A main, it almost reminds me of like A main or B main on Ascent. You kind of trade back and forth. So you're going to see a lot of the times over here in this area, CT side will knife that, and then the attacking side will knife that wall. Kind of unbreakable in a way. And it's just going to be that control for A main space that you're going to see from both sides. You can get that orb if you want, if you're the attacking side. We already have a Sova ultimate online for MTA.
Yeah,
That's huge.
Or you can do what Cloud9 did this round. They aggressively take that space, farm that orb. So it'll be interesting to see this fight for A main control. In a lot of ways, the map is obviously very different. Rooney will fall to the spike, and Crying will get their second. In a lot of ways, it fares very similar to how teams approach A main on Haven.
Yeah.
There's just a gentleman's handshake of utility that's exchanged on either side, and then, all right, let's see who walks away with it on top. And I wonder if that's how this is going to continue to play out, because we've seen it not just here, but we've seen it globally too.
Exactly. And it's really important to get that space, especially on the defensive side, because it paints the picture of what the general setup is or the default is for the attackers. And if you don't have that information, this map is so long, the rotations are so long to get to these spots, you might not make it to the site on time.
There are the two knives, dueling knives, if you will, that you were referring to. One of them cleared out, the other one channeling fully through. Invested the drone out as well. Smoke out towards Heaven, and now they can commit. But again, they're going to be going into Moose's utility here. He has a full setup, Trey.
Yeah, and the way Cloud9 have been playing these last couple of rounds, they're going to want to flood in while this hit is coming through. Kesnet, he's alone, isolated on the site.
It's the same idea. It's a flood that you were talking about. As soon as you see the utility come out, Zephyr with a right click through the smoke, but there's nothing really able to follow up behind it. Now Crew get all the space they're looking for, unless Vanity can do something about it. Light armor in hand, MTA falls. And again, you've got this little mini game that's happening off on the other side of the map as Shy tries to hold mid.
Yeah, that mid lurk, it could be devastating for Cloud9. And these post-plant positions so far, yeah, the spike is not down, but this is so brutal. So many crossfires.
Spike planted.
Really, Heaven, the only thing you need to be worried about. Shy gets caught out here, though. This will be good for Cloud9. Ooh, the timing.
They're forced to sit back and wait as the weight of the moment grows. Shy will fall. There's the mid-fight that we were talking about. Now all eyes, all attention turned towards A. Oxy will be the first to dash out as every single member of Cloud9 falls apart.
Yeah, the trifecta setup on the A site, the post plant that I was getting at, that is so hard to break through. And Cloud9, they missed their window of opportunity to flood out and isolate Kesnet, who was stuck on site. But from the flip side for Crew, what a great job from the players in main not to get hit by that KO flash and to kind of just leave Kesnet on that island, understanding that, okay, we're going to trust you to live here for as long as possible, and then we're going to re-flood in after you. So, honestly, awesome play right now from Crew. They're looking really good after that thrifty round that they won.
And to be honest with you, going into this series, I kind of expected Crew to be the ones that picked this map, as we're seeing a little bit of early aggression from Cloud9. Oxy has already dashed all the way down mid and pays for it with his life.
Yeah, no one in his sight lines. He just gets quick peek. There's too many angles to look at after that.
But I was saying, I really thought it would be Crew to bring this out. As you think about their stage 2 and how they've struggled, and they have, and it's been very well documented, 4 map wins this entire stage. Just 4. 2 of them were on split. So I thought if anyone was going to pull it out, given that half of their map wins were just eviscerated, it would be Crew. But lo and behold, it's Cloud9 who tries to pull a quick one. And it hasn't really gone their way so far. In a lot of ways, it feels like Crew is the more prepared. Crew is the more drilled one here.
But Moose, he's in the back line right now. Now he strikes, he takes out Melzer, but he gets traded by Heat, who's, by the way, he's on fire right now.
He's been so steady. Kesnet getting tagged up. Remember, it's Cloud9 who didn't have very much as far as guns. We've already seen one thrifty. Is there another one afoot? Oh my gosh, it very well may be the case. MTA has to hold the line. He's able to get one. Vanity left on his own. MTA 20 HP. A stiff breeze will kill him at this point, and it's more than that. It's a Gale Force. It's Cloud9 pushing forward. Vanity now left in a 1v1. Has the high ground, but does not have the time. Lands the shots. Heat will fall. What a response from Cloud9.
And that's the power of Omen on this map. Poor Heat. There's too many angles to look at. You don't know where he teleported. Vanity, he opts to just TP on top of that default plant spike box. And then from there, I mean, he sees the barrel, and it's just so easy from that point on for Vanity. But those trades in Heaven, that was wonderful. Beautiful job. And this fighting style of Crew, it actually worked against them this time around. Maybe they need more poise, more discipline against the weaker buy of Cloud9.
You know, when we were watching Cloud9 play against Crew a couple of weeks ago, I was on the analyst desk and I was watching it.
Let's go. Let's go, man.
I was watching the series with Ball and Mimi, and one of the things that Ball mentioned was that as it leans more into chaos, it feels like it leans towards Cloud9. It feels like it favors them a little bit more. If we are going to continue to see this brawly approach where Crew want to fight and Cloud9 want to flood, I mean, that very well may continue to lean their way.
Definitely. And what we just witnessed was an attack side operator buy from Kesnet, picking off the only smokes player of Cloud9.
I have retrieved the spike. And it's, I mean, one of the top fragment members for Cloud9 too. Vanity just had a huge round.
Yeah, what a change of pace from this attacking side of Crew. Kesnet with this attack op, and after he gets that pick, he even just holds in the back here, waiting for any type of re-aggression, trying to get another punish. A lot of teams, when they're down 4v5, especially on the defensive side, they like to group up, do a little push on some side of the map. But this time around, they don't really need to. Cloud9 doesn't need to do that because Oxy has that entire A-line.
I was waiting for that lockdown to see when it would come through. 40, a little more than 40 seconds left in the round.
I know exactly.
Kesnet, I don't think you're going to fit there.
Yeah, he was trying to fit in that little corner, trying to finesse, but this will allow the members of Cloud9 to change their positioning on the actual site. Saw Moose drift over there, but a rotation from Zeppo. He's not here right now, and this TP...
He's channeled it. He's stuck it. He's behind them, and I don't think they know where they are. It might not matter, though, as Moose tries to hold the line as best as he can. Now Meltzer starting to make his presence known. He's taken so much of this space, and again, he's a trap. They don't know where he is, and I don't know that there's any real easy way to clear him out. The flash comes through, Meltzer falls, but Kesnet responds. Zeppo left on his own. Crumbles at the hands of Kesnet. 4 on the round for him as Crew matched that number.
A masterclass with that operator in his hands. The big boomstick. He just went crazy with it. Yeah, he whipped a couple shots into heaven, but the pressure that he applied alone, it was so much. Made that retake so hard for these members to get. That was that entry, instant peak.
And honestly, I was surprised that they were committing to it, because after the lockdown goes through, Shy pops his ult. They know where the stack is, and the stack was right in front of them.
Yeah.
But belligerent in their approach. Pugnacious protocols get them through that round.
So confident in hitting that B site, that execute. That's something we're going to see a lot. The Death spoke about it. It's so tough to hold that B site. There's not a lot of positions that you can play, especially against that KO. You know, you have the dagger coming through. You got the molly that can hit back sight. Sova dart that can clear out most of the front of the site. And the way that Crew's been using that Sova dart, they're not using it deep so it can get broken from somebody hiding behind, you know, the double stack box.
Sure.
That's, there's no mini map for you guys right now, but I'll point it out later. But the double stack box on the right side when you entry on the attacking side, a lot of people can tuck their break darts if they're deep, but they're using one that's right before that box. And so it just clears out the front of the site, gets people in heaven if they're there as well. And if somebody's backside, it kind of keeps them trapped there as well. You don't want to peek out at that moment. You kind of have to wait. That allows you what? That allows you time to scale up,
right?
Do your thing, etc. So a good re-hit from Crew.
Quick check-in on the duelists. This tale of the tape between Kesnet and Oxy, and yeah, the first time they danced, it was for very little stakes, yes, but it means so much now, and so far, it's been all Kesnet, man.
Yeah, and this series, it honestly is a game of how can we get our hyper carry online before the other guy? And obviously we're talking about Oxy and Kesnet when I speak about that. These guys are hyper carries. They can tap into that. This pop flash played. Ooh, what a punish from Kesnet. He's on point right now.
I don't know that it was fully a bait to like try to force someone to get a swing, but even if it wasn't, there was the op over the top, and yeah, Oxy not around for long. There is one rifle, a hero rifle, on the side of Cloud9 in the hands of Moose. We'll see what they do with it, as he is currently on an island. B.
That's 2 rounds in a row now that this operator on the attacking side of Kesnet has gotten the first blood.
Yeah.
Makes you
gonna
play
get
the
a
defense.
shot at more. Whoa, how in the world does that bullet miss? Fortunately for him, Heat and Shy don't. That looked like that went, what, under the arm?
Yeah,
armpit, between the legs? I mean,
it was so close.
I don't know where that thing went.
But you see what Crew are doing. Every time they get that first blood so far, they're just freezing the round, waiting for the re-aggression. This time around, Cloud9, since they have weaker weapons, that's what opts for them to go for that. But yeah, they just run into a blender. Crew ready for that. Just as they were ready for it towards the B side of the map, had, you know, the last round, Cloud9 pushed as well. It's good fundamentals, honestly.
Yeah. Again, on a new map. on a map that Cloud9 picked, and you would expect them to be a little bit more drilled on it, a little bit more prepared, but hey, you've got to be ready for anything. So Crew will wait this round out. They will get to 5. Moose will carry the rifle over into the next. And I think more importantly, given the conversation we've been having, Kesnit's op carries over as well.
Yeah, he keeps getting first bloods right now. That's 2 in a row with the operator. And for the side of Cloud9, you kind of want to go back to that style of, you know, let them have the site and flood in, but like actually commit this time around, because when Cloud9 do things together, that's when they look their best. I mean, Imi says it, their whole team says it. And that allows Oxy to have more confidence when, you know, he knows he has the support from all the other members of his team going in, and he can clean up. Or even if Oxy dies early on the retake, if his team can convert that round, it'll fuel him to know that he's doing something right.
Placing sentry.
This time, not back in the hands of Oxy, sitting at 1 and 7. We've talked about how he struggled, how he hasn't really left the blocks yet. 8 rounds in. See if you can find a little bit more success here. The setup looks slightly different too from the defensive side as the orb is picked up.
Yeah, and KO ult was gathered from that orb being picked up, just as you stated. And last time around, Crew decided to hit B site with that KO ultimate.
Flash.
Nothing has been showed towards this B side of the map so far from Crew, and I think that's why you see right now MTA leaning towards B. He's going to drone out the operator of Oxy, and that might be the cue for Crew to speed up into A site once he gathers this information.
Surely, though, you understand if there's an op and a Jet on one side, there's a Killjoy setup on the other. And there it is. There's the ult popped. So you're absolutely right, Trey. As soon as they get a little bit of presence, they understand what's waiting on the other side. They pop the ult, they try to get past Moose, and he's holding the line on his own, finding 2. He finally slows him down. There's no easy way for Cloud9 to flood through this. They're going to be able to set up into their post-plant positions. Keep a close eye on the ults too. Rooney 1 away from having the Hunter's Fury. Vanity can reposition if he so chooses. But he getting cheeky, getting active, getting 3. Now Blades online, pop from Oxy. Thinking he can will this round back.
Yeah, they're going for it.
He's got the op, he's got the blades, and the knives will have to find a lot of value. The first found, the second cannot settle. Crew get another.
It was so close from Oxy to bring that to a 1v1, but he just couldn't connect with those knives. And he knew he had to make a play. They were down 3v4. The disruption, but honestly, a blunder from Cloud9. How is nobody watching A Heaven in that moment?
Yeah,
that's the only gap.
Yeah, he played just on the other side of the lip and then struck when the moment was right. Moose did his best to keep it back. I thought he was going to get 3
Poor
here,
Moose.
to be honest. Yeah.
Honestly, poor Moose, he got 2. But look at this, nobody looking. And honestly, it's up to Rooney in that moment when when Zeppa's already holding that screens area, that CT area, for you to pick that up on the rotation. So a big mistake, a costly one.
Oh, different approach here from Crew. They haven't explored the middle of the map very much, other than Shy going on a late flank and things of this nature, but a very different look.
And that drone saw 3 members as well. So maybe that look just got dissuaded. Now Crew are going to go back, slow things down. I wonder if Kesnit will sit here for most of the round just trying to catch out a rotation. Last time around when MTA used this drone, Oxy fell into backside B and it didn't see him at all.
He's got the up again.
He's going to have the time to do that as well. Yep.
Falls backside, as you mentioned. Reposition, a second lease at life, and another chance to hold the line. But now, surely that knife, you've got to know where they are. The Hunter Fury's invested, and both Paranoia's traded. MTA looking for a tag, but it's Melser who falls at the hands of Oxy. They've done a really good job of keeping him back, and the spike is well out of reach here. I don't know that Crew can get back in on this.
No, it's all up to Shy now in a 1v5. He gets the first on the Moose, his counterpart.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, this is so tough. And look at all the space that Cloud9 have. There's 3 members here dialed in. Vanity's rotating over to that nest area as well. Nearly impossible. He should still go for this. He will get the ultimate online. His economy is thriving.
Yeah.
Might as well. Why not? You get the ult, worst case scenario, you do damage, but I guess he's just going to go for the save.
All right, so tell me this, because we've seen this very similar look, the first couple of steps of what we just saw, with entirely different results and outcomes. What worked here?
For Cloud9, honestly, it was Oxy identifying from the previous round that when that drone comes out, he has the timing to fall back into sight, and it doesn't see him there. That's why Melzer just kind of gave him a freebie. Melzer TPs into the site thinking it's all clear, and then Oxy just turns up in that moment. He gets a free kill onto Melzer, and then, yeah, the follow-up from Vanity, who floods in after that kill. And that bottom smoke right there also helped Vanity to flood in. And then, yeah, the head-to-head, Oxy beats Kesnet once that smoke fades. But you imagine Kesnet would have gotten traded anyways. But still, that's confidence for Oxy now.
Very quickly, 2 ops online for Cloud9. In the hands of Vanity and Oxy, and you're right, Oxy does seem to be heating up. He does seem to be getting a little bit more comfortable. Can Vanity find success too? That bullet just barely off the mark.
Yeah, pre-aimed a little bit too low there, but he has another chance here. He won't be the one that gets it, but Oxy, he will take out Shy.
They're up really far mid here. Getting a lot of utility out. It doesn't seem like easy now. Watch your footing.
Yeah, he almost fell.
The spike is in such an awkward spot too. MTA has to pull off a great escape to rejoin with his teammates. Takes the ropes back up. And now is in much more of a comfortable position. I think the tricky thing though here for Crew is they've invested a lot, they've lost a member, and they haven't really gained a lot of space.
Yeah, it's 2 rounds in a row now that this mid default has not been working for the side of Crew. And I have a feeling that they're just gonna go back to their old ways. The old ways of the previous rounds of this half. Just doing 3-1-1s across the board. Taking control of the main. That leg shot doesn't kill, but it will dissuade a little bit.
Down to 30 HP for Heat. You see them push up towards danger. Melzer has already found safe passage across the gap. And Vanity has been overwhelmed and he's been outnumbered. Keep a close eye on the flank. It's coming around through their spawn. We haven't really seen anything like this. Oftentimes when Cloud9 are fighting for a retake, they're flooding in on the site. This flank is a little bit different, and I don't know that they're expecting it. Heat had no idea. Now Kesnet knows. As Oxy gets a move on, finds 3 on the round. The kid is awoken. And now they've got Rooney, Moose to deal with. Zeppa getting in on the action as well. What a retake from Cloud9. A different flavor.
Yeah, that was sick. Just constricting them into the site, flooding in from window, and then, yeah, Kesnet, he's on that little island on the side of the map, but when you're getting peeked into from that spot, it's so hard to hit that shot. It looks so fast on your side. Oh, wow, it looks like Shy got picked off there because he couldn't find his cam lineup. Big mistake right there.
I think a lot of times you'll see, as soon as a hand goes out, it's just a reaction, right? You shoot, and oftentimes it's missed, so well done on Oxy to be really patient with the trigger.
I wish I could know what he just said right there.
You're not a professional lip reader?
No, I don't know. But he looks like he's feeling it now. He's online. He was once 1-7, now he's 7-9.
And meanwhile, Kesnet seems to have slowed down a bit as we enter round 11. Crew with the lean towards A.
Yeah, and there we go. Going back to what worked at the first part of the half. Farming the mains, getting those orbs. And then just doing an execute. They will be faced with 3 members of Cloud9 if they do want to speed up into this, but it looks like Kesnet's just trying to get any type of duel that he can. Drone for drone right now, but Crew are winning the battle so far in the exchange of utility.
I mean, they've seen the drone, they've seen the smoke, they've seen the jet.
Right here. But this dart is going to be crazy from Rooney. If they decide to actually flood in, if Crew decide to execute here, this dart will get so much value.
There's the paranoid that's come out, and again, Zeppa in a position to right-click and then flood out. They drop the molly too. There's the dart that you were looking for. And now a second shot in hand for Rooney is Crew try their best, but they just hit a wall, and they have to rethink about this. Oh, that ult's going to get a decent amount of info too.
Oh, I saw 2. Yeah, you're right. But look at this. It's going to be a split. This is actually a really good heads-up play from Crew.
30 seconds
what is C9 going to do about this?
And the problem is, you're right, Cloud9 have no mid presence, so they don't really know what's going on, but I guess Zeppa can just spam through the smoke and get a free kill.
1 enemy remaining.
Cloud9 shut the door on the round for Crew. MTA's left on his own. The most recent addition to the squad, joining the team, and has found a little bit of success, most recently as far as last week, but he won't find any this round.
That util exchange from Cloud9 and Crew in that A main area, that A site, it was so sick. But Cloud9, the way that they used that dart, Rooney with the poise, that's what won them this round. It basically made all the attackers just stuck, like you said, and they had to go back and just make something out of nothing. But at that point, you're kind of running your head into a wall of Zeppa. And a KO in these close corners. Yeah, you threw a smoke there, but he can just pop flash himself out and just spam that little narrow alley.
That's exactly what he did. Hey, Zeppa's impact in that round was ridiculous.
Too easy for him.
And so Cloud9 put up 3 in a row. Again, back to the double op antics.
sight lines on this map are so long. It's so oppressive running your head into an operator. A very early KO ultimate from Zeppa. He wants nothing to do with this. He wants to delay for as long as possible, and he did just that.
Crew are just so patient. I mean, they're all just posted up outside of A, waiting for things to settle.
Get out of my way!
And Shy, right now, he needs to break that turn in mid. He just goes for that, but what is that?
Pull! It just plucks him out of the sky. They've invested the 100 shooting, but Meltzer so far up ahead of this. They're going to commit to this anyway. He's got the spike out on site by himself. He now falls and the spike's in no man's land. Well out of the reach of any member who can make any impact. But as things slow down, we're left to 2 apiece. Heat forced to just sit back and watch and keep an eye on the flank for Moose. Going in through spawn. As silence creeps across the site, Moose looks to go, oh no. We missed it, but Moose delivers!
Hey, that's one way to make a distraction for Moose to come in the back lines and clean up the round. I can almost guarantee Crew are looking at the kill feed right there. Wait, what just happened?
Hey,
how did Vanity go down?
They've been drilling that one for a while.
Was it tactical? Huh? It could be. Look at that. Nice little spray there. That was that entry that you were talking about from Vanity. What a nice shot. The double operator. It was fruitful. Yeah, can't believe Melzer stuck that. Oh! This is the first time in NA we've seen somebody fall off the map, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy it.
Gravity comes for us all. Plenty of reasons to smile when you win 4 in a row and tie us up at 6 apiece after the dreadful start that they had. We're going to throw it to a quick break. We'll be right back.
Well, there's a whole another half left to play in this map, but I want to take you through some of how B is played in the pro level. And so we're going to wind the clock all the way back to the pistol round. And I think the interplay here between the attackers and the defenders is interesting. The attackers really want to be planting in this central location. It makes the B post plants very difficult to deal with. That means this area is going to be very difficult for the defenders to get out from because you control this sightline as the attackers. And it puts an enormous emphasis on flooding out here. You can send util over the top to deny the plant and get these kind of flood retakes going. You take a look at what happened in the pistol round. Great smoke in the middle there so that people, if they were playing around on site, could try to deny this plant from going through. And you'll see that Crew, realizing that this avenue is what C9 are going to put an emphasis on, put a smoke, a nade, a paranoia. They're throwing a lot of utility to try to push back the defenders. What that means is Cloud9 realize this connector to mid is going to be difficult to brawl around. Look how tough that was for C9 to get out. And so Zeppa and Vanity have then the freedom to come out heaven. And so if you wind things back again, what you've got here essentially from these two teams, and what you're going to see a lot, is an interplay where the attackers have to decide which one of these avenues they put most pressure onto, and the defenders have to realize where the pressure is and try to flood out the other exit. If you allow the spike to go back in this spot, and you can play Odin post plants, throw nades on it, get ridiculous recon dart lineups, you're going to be in a bad spot. So pay attention to that in the next half. The Doug and Baby Bay are going to take you through.
Another mustachioed Menace masterclass, and I think he's absolutely right. As we start to see this map play out, I think that connector is going to matter a ton. You saw it on the pistol, you've seen it globally, we saw it multiple times throughout this half. I think we're going to see a lot of it more on this one, too.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering what kind of approach Crew are going to have. Are they going to try to fight Cloud9 head-on, disrupt them, not allow them to get on the site? Or are they going to do something similar as Cloud9 and kind of just flood in, give them the site, pick your timings on the utility? So all things to look out for. And this is already a difference right here. The Cypher is geared up towards this B site with a cam towards mid.
Cloud9 now on the attack. They weighed out the knife. They knew it was coming, but the thing is they give up the line and they give it to Kesnet. A great response as the rock, paper, scissors turns into a flash shot from the KO. Kesnet has to take a step back, dashing away. Not able to settle. That's a big opener for Cloud9. How much more can they find? I don't know if they really have any more util, so they just have to try to flood out of the smoke with the dart over the top. MTA feeling some of the pressure, forced to throw it into reverse. And all he's done is throw it into the next round as there's 2v2 left. Oxy so weak, trying to commit to the spike plant. Shy spotted him, and that's a spike. Moves with so much to do, and he cannot convert. Shy with 2 as Crew take the pistol.
Yeah, Crew, 2 Sheriff buys towards that A site. That's what honestly was the thorn in the side of Cloud9. And honestly, Oxy, he bought light armor into that round and he could have fallen to Kesnet, but the fact that he did invest light armor in a classic, which is something you don't see every day on Jet, it allowed him to actually live and win that head-to-head battle. But the follow-up for Cloud9, after they take out Kesnet, they think, oh, okay, this is free now. Now you're running into MTA with his Sheriff. And the Sheriff is so deadly and disastrous on pistol round. That's why you saw this big investment from the side of Crew. And now they have a chance to amass a little bit of a lead. This is a fast connector split.
They're so weak.
Oh, they're
He knows. I mean, he's so far ahead of it. They're just so difficult for Cloud9 to get through there. They fully commit to this mid-hit as Heat gets 4 on the round. Has a chance for the ace.
And he's building up towards that KO ultimate.
Yeah. I mean, everyone likes a free PC, right?
Yeah.
We'll see if Heat's able to find it as Moose is taken
Get him!
He's taken to a quick run. A jaunt across the map.
Oh, smart.
Farm up a couple of orbs on the way out, but as we continue to see this great escape play out, oh, a tactical drop.
The crowd went wild for it.
Yeah, that's one way to deny things, yeah, I guess.
Actual value, though. He grabbed the ultimate orb on top of that. Why not? You deny an ult orb from the other side, and you grab an ult orb for yourself. Exactly. It kind of reminds me of what teams used to do on Fracture in a way.
And so this is the play that we saw at the very beginning, is you've got this trap in as Cloud9 try to take a ton of space mid. You've got a dart. You've got them getting spammed through the wall, and then Heat with a molly on the other side. There was nowhere to go.
It was a really unique idea for the eco round of Cloud9 to just run all the way up catwalk and go into that vent area. Now, it's something that Crew have to be wary about for the future rounds. Maybe that's why they have that camera geared up there. But yeah, you're totally right. KO in this vent area, I mean, it's so easy to deny. We saw the molly get so much value there. I mean, even Zeppa in that position with the pop flashes when he's there. So hard to bust through that vent area. And it's a very slow approach.
Yeah, they're showing so much respect to Crew here. And I think with how big this new map is, Crew can just deny all of this space. Shy's, I mean, essentially on the other side of the wall from them. Kesnet spotting one. As Oxy tries to go up top, Kesnet with the knife out. You can't bring that to a gunfight. Oxy with the second.
Beautiful execute.
And it does not look like a bonus is in the cards. Yeah, barring a miracle from the remaining members of Crew.
Oxy, he's hunting for more as well. He's feeling himself right now. Trying to make a statement. Adam would say, oh, when he's making one, that's 3.
Shy and Heat left to stand. Heat snappy with it, dropping Oxy as Rooney tries to get away. And Vanity's in such a cheeky little spot. I mean, look at this smoke. He's just tucked. But now spotted, now given away, trying to dance around the bullets. And responding with a view of his own as the spike continues to take. Vanity will fall. I mean, there's really no time for them to commit to getting this here. So the spike will go off, and Moose will fall for it.
Maybe a little ambitious from the side of Cloud9 there. Probably didn't have to drop as many weapons as they did, but nevertheless, they did win that round, and it was all because of that flash dash from Oxy, taking the timing on the Kesnet, who was trying to slip away. And then he got the follow-up, the 2 more after that. There's that entry right there. Beautiful job. Flash dash on the top site. Easy pick'ems from that point on. A nice execute.
Head and hands in the third round of the half.
Yeah, interesting.
Perhaps seeing some of the gravitas of the moment, a round that may have gotten away from them with no real time to dwell on it. Cloud9 already into the next. They were already farming up the orb towards A, and Blades online for Oxy.
Yeah, Oxy overheating in that last round actually comes back to help them out for once. It's really good that he's able to get those knives online because of how many weapons they lost in the previous round. Jet knives can be so deadly in the right hands. And we've seen Oxy all year long.
Look at how concerned they are that they've lost mid-map already. They're slow walking through spawn, concerned that there could be somebody playing up really far. That's not a line. Sorry, guys. And so they're posted up towards B, and they're going to have to deal with all of these trips from Shy.
Oh, Kesnet can't connect.
Oxy's just going to get spammed through, dropped. No idea that Shy was just around the corner. Trip finding a little bit of value, lighting up one, but not able to respond on the kill. Rooney gets a second. A big round for him. More to be found as he finds a third. Wow. That's huge from him.
Some crispy shots right there. Perfect crosshair placement. And now it's a 2v4. Again.
With Meltzer and Heat left on the other side, forced to look in. Vanity on the reposition, blinded, can't see a thing. And it's gotten down to 2. Way closer than it should have been. Is Zeppa dancing around the wall. Feeling the walls close in. Heat and Meltzer on the prowl. A little bit of help from Moose as Zeppa stays alive and Cloud9 tie us up at 8.
It got scrappy, 4v2 to 2v2, but Moose, the stable man in the back, he helped Zeppa out on site, who is so good in those spots where he's kind of just stuck on an island and he's like finessing around, jiggling back and forth. That's where I see Zeppa really shine in these moments of VALORANT. He's so good with his movement, his mechanics. Such a nuisance.
And we mentioned it earlier, but what a steady round from Rooney.
Yeah. He got a little overeager there in the 1v1 on Melzer in heaven. And interesting, I'm wondering if we're going to see a timeout soon from the side of Crew. It looks like emotions are running a little rampant.
It won't be this time. Kesnet on an early challenge.
He did tag Oxy through the wall.
My camera is destroyed. Yep.
No headshot, though.
The exchange was a dash. A mid dart, and again, Meltzer so far up. The defensive approach between these teams is staggering to watch. Crew are so much more invested on this area of the map.
Now is with aggression B main as well. That will allow Cloud9 to have to speed up into A site. And it's a fight in the back site, but the Sheriffs are reigning supreme just like pistol round.
And a weapon has been upgraded now into the hands of Kesnet. The spam coming through will connect onto Rooney. No chance to have impact this round. Moose is left in a 1v5. I think we've seen this one before. A turn of the flash, a swing out from Kesnet. That's 3 for him as a flawless round comes through for Crew to take 9.
Yeah, a flawless thrifty on top of it. Now your economy is going to be ridiculous for the rest of the half. Melzer walked all the way down mid, along with Shy, walking all the way down B main. That allows for all the players on that A site, the fighting squad, the hit squad of Crew, to be dialed in on their crosshairs, ready.
If you look at where the barriers are in the minimap right now, the defensive side will always have an aggressive line on mid. That's why you don't often see attack side teams try to fight for some of that space, because they're always going to be at a disadvantage. The thing is, they have to find a way to re-clear this, or Cloud9's going to continue to punish.
Yeah, maybe a camera or something of the sort.
Or it's just a blistering pace towards A from both sides. The paranoia is already out. This is a much deeper smoke than what we were seeing before, allowing Oxy to dash up there and take heaven space.
Yeah, that's so unique. We've seen what he can do in this position. What can Oxy do?
Gosh, a 5v5 retake in a moment like this where there's just one round separating these two squads.
Oh.
We wouldn't have it any other way. The defensive smoke is already out. They've got the paranoia through. I don't think they knew that Oxy was there, but it doesn't matter. He's been dismissed. He's been dealt with. Disposed of. And now Cloud9 trying to hold the line as Crew are going to have to fight through the smoke. But is there anything that they can do? They've already been sticking it to half. It's all on Moose and Vanity now. Do they try to take the fight their way as Crew tries to flood through the smoke? It's been left on Moose. He's gotten one.
Is ready.
Heat has to stick it. There's not a lot of time here. Moose can go aggressive. Is he going to be able to take this? It's already gotten to half. It's going to be so close. Oh my gosh! 0.1?
That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable. There's no way that goes down to that.
He is on fire. 19, 10, and 11. He's obliterating everybody in the server right now. And it's a timeout called from Cloud9.
One enemy remaining.
My ultimate.
Moose had such an advantage there. Time was short. But what a play from Heat, man.
That is unbelievable.
Ice cold.
And his reaction on top of it, this is an everyday thing for Heat, apparently.
So now the timeout called as Crew have a 2-round lead. And that's a second one burned for Cloud9 too. Crew still have both of theirs.
And a thrifty round can give your team so much momentum and confidence, especially with the way that they won that thrifty, walking down mid, no opposition at all there. Gives you confidence on the defensive side to go for aggro plays. This time around, they decided to play retake, and I love their retake protocols. That aggressive smoke from Cloud9 into heaven, into A heaven. They use the drone. MTA invests his drone to deny all that space. Oxy has to drop. All of a sudden, he's isolated. And then the retake comes into full effect. We get half on the spike, and now we want to fight into the main. Some good signs for Crew.
Charlie Mike, let's
and I think a lot has to be said for Adam and the trust he has in his team too, because we mentioned there were a couple of rounds where Crew is head and hands early in this half. But trusting the process. Kesnet with blades. He's flashed up, tries to land the shot onto Oxy, but he can't. Had nowhere to go. The dash has already been expended. You see the buy for Cloud9. There's not a lot here. They've lost the blades. Those have been blunted. It's just a Singer now in the hands of Vanity.
Ooh,
upgrade to operating. Interesting choice in a situation like this. The spike hasn't been planted. Do they call this off? They might be too committed, Dre.
They could plant and back sight, and that's what they decide to do, but we've seen how this plant spot can be disastrous for teams. They do have an operator, though.
You should run.
They're investing a lot here. Fully convinced they can win this out.
Yeah, it's a great Killjoy ultimate, actually. Rooney might be able to catch some players off. Ooh, they're spamming.
Not able to stay alive, not able to avoid the damage. Now Vanity still with that op, connects onto MTA. What a shot. I mean, they might just drag this thing over the line. Again, with near nothing.
This is so awkward. Molly won't be able to get any value. Vanity's still alive, though.
He's able to get one. Meltzer sticking it, and Heat covers him. They invested so much into that. But Crew finds clarity in the Calamity.
And had that plant been on the default box that Sideshow was speaking about in his telestrator, that round is completely different. Now you're able to peek the spike from, 2-3 different angles. I think this is the replay from the previous round, but yeah. Had Cloud9 been able to plant the spike on the default box of B, the round would have been different. All of a sudden, the operator has multiple different angles to peek from. Moose doesn't have to expose his entire body to throw a molly on the bomb.
Well, he's exposed himself mid a little bit here.
Look, another mid walk.
Cautious.
From Melzer. Did he?
The dart's over the top, but Moose has not been spotted. I don't think Melzer knows he's there. Very nicely done.
Yeah, he heard that as well.
And again, that was the response to this mid presence that we were talking about. And yeah, you may have figured out mid, but you haven't figured out Shy. 2 on the round already. Finally falling. As they're committing to this plan, numbers the way of the attack, and it does not seem to be getting any better as Cloud9 get to 9.
What a nice spray down from Moose there at the end on A Heaven.
Remember, your weapon is only a tool. You can't do
Good spray control and good awareness. He heard Melzer take out those smokes in mid. That's why you saw him take that extra little sidestep there, getting the advantage in the head-to-head. And then the speed up on the A site was very interesting for me, and it didn't look like it was that, together from the side of Cloud9, but the trading was together. That's the important part. And that's what I'm talking about when I talk about this Cloud9 roster. They look so good when they do things together, even if it's not the correct play.
You
kind of need to have that hive mind approach, everybody on the same page.
It's often make or break. Is now Cloud9 are the ones Crew are the ones investing a timeout.
The first one, by the way. They still have one more, and they're still sitting at a 2-round lead.
As Adam gets involved in the conversation. Rather verbose, too.
And maybe now it's, let's show a new look. We haven't really taken A main control at all this half on the defensive side. We've walked down mid twice. One time it worked. The last time we did it, we got punished. So I'm wondering if we're going to see some type of extremity control from the side of Crew. Because right now, Crew aren't really playing the info game. They're kind of playing like a 3-2 style. Where, one side is playing that retake, fast flood style. And the other side is kind of, the operator, taking a deep line. Kesney, he got punished towards this B site in the last round. This time he repositions, take more of a passive angle, and looks like Crew still wants to smoke in mid.
The dart cleared out instantly.
Yeah, and that's a red alert right now for Cloud9.
I mean, this play it's deja vu from watching DRX do it. Mako did this exact same thing, and there was help over the top.
I think Rooney has an idea that Melzer's in this area as well.
I mean, it's not the first time they do it, so yeah, sure, a little bit of an expectation, but if they fully clear this out, Melzer might be in trouble.
That should be a giveaway. Why else would somebody be holding that angle from deep mid? Especially Heat, who's been playing A Heaven most of the rounds.
Well, I think part of the thing is, even if they know he's there, there's nothing they can do about him.
Oh, that's what they can do.
Shots.
Ollie shot.
Ollie, Melzer stays alive. How many more things are they going to invest here? Meanwhile, Heat left him to his own devices. There was no help over the top anymore.
This is what I'm talking about right now from this defensive side of Crew. They don't really have info other than these deep pushes in mid that they're doing. It's so passive.
I will say, though, while all of this was going on, you take a quick look at the top of your screen, there are 35 seconds left in the round. Cloud9 haven't gotten very much. Now they're going to go their way out. They're still going to have to deal with all this Cypher util instantly falls, as I try to bring that up, but they've gotten a little bit of space here.
Yeah, and this time around, Oxy, he's playing that close corner with a shorty. This might have to be a save for the side of Crew.
I think you're right.
I don't know how you break through this. Maybe if Shy had been able to live there, maybe then. But yeah, this is definitely a full save. So Cloud9, yeah, it took them, what, a minute to get that kill onto Melzer, but still.
It works out.
Yeah, I'm glad they did their due diligence and used utility to clear him out, and they were able to slowly creep up forward. No support from Melzer there was disastrous.
And I wonder, I missed it, so I'd love to see it again. What it was that called Heat away? Or if they just kind of decided, well, he's dead. There's really nothing we can do about him anymore.
Yeah, I think it was just that initial exchange with Vanity. The fact that, he didn't actually get that kill onto him, it kind of makes you scared and wary, okay, now they know where I am. How many more defenders or how many more attackers are going to peek me at the same time? Look, because even if Heat is still there, there's going to be 2 players at least swinging, maybe a third from the top of Cat. It's too risky to want to sit there and support Melzer, but Melzer, he just needed to get out at that moment. It's too obvious. Maybe Heat could have given him a flash and Melzer could have TP'd out. Use some of that Omen kit.
Yeah, I think when you insert something like that, it's a heavy investment and you need to protect those jewels. Precious as they may be, but alas, into the next we go. 1 round separating these 2 squads, and Cloud9 with heavy intentions towards B.
Yeah, execute off the rip of the round. Kesney getting tagged by that Sova dart makes him have to reposition. Shy, is he gonna go out here alone? If he does, he's gonna fall, surely.
I mean, patience with it. Not overcommitting, not oversending. In fact, Vanity just waltzes into his death.
That's one of the most risky plays I think I've seen. But the trade from Zeppa, he's going for 2. He settles.
3v2, the way of the defense as Oxy peeks his way around to another. Heat now falling. Rooney joining him as Oxy continues to cause problems from backside. 2 now as the spike has been planted. Make that 3. And now the dash, realizing he's had enough. You've got these. Dude, how to get the map just came out. What is this? How does he already have these lineups? Melzer with no real option, nothing that he can do. He's gonna get his 1 kill.
Wait,
hang on now. The spam, surely, that connects as the smoke dissipates. Melzer has been caught, he's been spotted, he's been had. Both will fall, but the round goes the way of Cloud9. We're tied.
Yeah, this time around, Moose not messing around. He's got those molly lineups. And that plant spot, it's so tough. Up on that railing. There's only so many spots you can defuse it from.
One enemy remaining.
Melzer almost had a window of opportunity to clutch that out, but Moose this time around, he's not going to make the same mistake that he made against Heat.
I mean,
a little bit too early.
If it wasn't for Oxy getting 3 in that round, I mean, who knows how that plays out? And so the timeouts come in bunches. We just saw Crew invest 1. We talked about they slid 1 left, and you know that was a calling card. I mean, it's all hands off the wheel now.
And I think they're going to fully invest in this round as well. And the viewers out there can't see it. The coach is cooking something up right now, though. It's all going to come down to this round. The economy is not looking great for the side of Crew. It's all or nothing right here, Doug.
Both teams really getting pushed as we got a full house at the Riot Games Arena in LA. And what a treat this crowd has been.
What a treat this game has been. We're sitting at 11-11. The amount of thrifties we've had as well. If this is anything like the rest of the maps are going to go in this series, it's going to be ridiculous.
The very first time we see Abyss, you know, on the Americas stage, and it has delivered. It is delivered in every way you could possibly fathom. We even had someone fall off the map, which is obviously the big check. Big check on the bingo card.
Yep.
But 11-11 now. You mentioned the investment. There's a lot on the side of Crew. Putting all hope into this round. Early net from Heat, tagging a couple.
Yeah, tagged 4 members.
Now remember this, you see the ping on the minimap right now. Look at where Heat is. They've got 2 over there. Remember a couple of rounds ago, they hit that deep smoke, allowed Oxy to path a little bit more aggressive, but this time not the case. Wow. They've got the paranoia. He's gonna do it anyway, right into the smoke, and Oxy's dead. I don't know if that smoke was a miss or they just wanted to commit to it anyway. Either way, Cloud9 forced to go forward, forced to walk into Melzer. And it's carnage. Cloud9 systematically picked apart 1 by 1. And Moose left to pick up the pieces.
He did get 2.
But he doesn't have the spike. He's gonna have to frag his way through this whole thing.
Yeah, this is so tough. All 3 members are geared up and waiting for him. Forget an up down. Okay, there's the up down.
Oh, forget about the double up, the triple
up down. Good job. Melzer, the anchor of the A site. This time not walking through mid. He lets the fight come to him, and he secures 3 into the round, locking down that A site. And then, yeah, another freebie from players taking a risk from the side of Cloud9. And yeah, I do wonder if this was a mistake or if it was intentional.
1 enemy remaining.
That's so tough to say.
But from Vanity in the last round, walking through that smoke, giving a free kill to Crew, to this round, Oxy dashing into that smoke, giving Crew a free kill.
Out of my way.
Now they're able to convert the round in such a tense moment of force buy. Is what that was from the side of Crew.
You see some of the utilities soaring through the sky. The smokes have landed. The lockdown invested.
Interesting lockdown. It basically denied everything, but Camden on the flank, he only gets 1.
How was he even there? It's all settled down now to 3s. The spike has made his way out onto the site.
But the problem is this plant spot, there's no Killjoy up. Moose is dead. There's no lineups for this. So you have to go for broke.
And you commit to the spam, you commit to the smoke, and you hope it settles your way. Zeppa with the flash over the top as you see everything being covered. Rooney going forward with the drone, getting a little bit of info. No ults to speak of, as you mentioned. 1 away, though, from the Hunter's Fury. And that could be the difference maker as the spike continues to tick away. Closing moments now as Crew look to take some of this space. Heat's already finding a little bit of value. Make that 2 on the round. All of them fall apart. Crew make their debut on Abyss. Cloud9's pick and walk away with the 1-0 series lead. What a map from Heat, man.
Yeah, the spike's not even defused yet. He's already up out of his seat, dabbing up his team. What an absolute monster in the server. He was miles ahead of everybody.
I think he dropped 30 or close to it. I don't know exactly how many it was.
26, 12, and 15. He might as well have had a 30 bomb.
With Shy not far off of him, the performance that both of those had was amazing. And I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited for this Crew squad. We saw some really cool ideas. Yes, some of them were perhaps taken off of Pacific bots. I don't know. But they also had some really cool ideas that they seemed to come up with as well. And I think for Cloud9, it just seemed like, at least at the beginning, they were not as prepared. They showed some really unique ideas, like we talked about the Oxy dashing up into heaven with the deep smoke from Omen, but it was just too much Crew at the end of the day.
Overcooking can be dreadful for some teams, and in this moment, that's definitely what happened for Cloud9 on their attacking side. The defensive side from Crew was great.
We'll see how things pan out. Again, elimination on the line. Cloud9 have to respond on Lotus. We'll see if that's the case on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.
Every time I needed a new phone, I had to switch carriers.
I told him, at Verizon, everyone can get the best deals. Like that iPhone 15 on them.
Switching all the time, it wasn't easy.
35. You're gonna be here forever.
And
Here's your wireless contract.
I need a lawyer for this. Those were hard days.
Representative switch.
Now that I got a huge storage and battery upgrade, I'm officially done switching.
New and existing customers get iPhone 15 on us when they trade in any iPhone, any condition, guaranteed.
I really wish you told me sooner.
I did.
Red Bull gives you wings.